You ever think to yourself, this brother of yours, this person will be the reason why I either end up dead or in the penitentiary? You ever feel nervous to go outside because everything seems to be moving too fast when you're around this person? Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you're just better at picking who you're gonna hang out with than I ever was. The person I'm talking about is the most dangerous nomad I ever met. And as a nomad, he only cared about himself. A nomad charter, you should at least care about your other nomad brothers, bare minimum, but not him. From strip clubs to selling Coca-Cola products, if you know what I mean, guns, and crazy tests that he would have brothers do to show that they had what it takes to be a nomad for an outlaw motorcycle club. What happens at the end of this story? You're not gonna believe it. Let's get into it. So where did I meet this type of person at? A complete lunatic, a psychopath. Let's call him Nomad Donnie to protect from any legal action, because make no mistake about it, some of the things we're gonna talk about here are illegal actions. But where do me and Donnie meet for the first time? Well, a fine establishment, of course. One of the lowest quality strip clubs in the Bronx, New York. And I'm not gonna call their name out and disgrace them, but they're pretty low down. I had never been in there before. He had just rode into town, and that's where he wanted to meet at. From the minute I got there, he turned the heat up. A stripper comes up to us. It says, "Hey guys," and daps us up. You know, she's trying to be cordial. She shakes my hand and it says, "What's up, sexy?" She walks up to Nomad Donnie, and he looks at her with the most evil look. And then he turns his body and starts facing another girl to give her money. She looks at me confused. I look at her super confused. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. I saw the look of rejection in her face though. This was a beautiful girl. I guess she wasn't used to that. So she looked at Donnie and said, "What's wrong with you? Why are you being so rude?" He looks in her eyes and ignores her again. So she says, "Why can't you be cool like your friend? Like, what's the problem?" Donnie looked at her dead in her eyes and said, "I would be nice to you if you knew how to dance. But from what I've seen, you can't dance for shit." I'm just looking at him like, what the hell is going on? So then he says, "So stop blocking my view and let me admire the girls that actually have talent." I was shocked. I could not believe it. This chick was super hot. She said, "F you," and walked off. So she takes the walk of shame. I look at him and he is smiling. He is loving this. I'm like, "Donnie, what the was that?" He lit up the biggest smile and then he says, "Chicks like to get treated like shit." I'm like, "Bro, you tripping." He smiles and he says, "Watch. Who do you think hit that at the end of the night? Me, the nice guy, or Donnie, the one who shook her pride?" If you answered Donnie, you would be correct. The man was completely right. He spotted the daddy issues all in her profession. Now, the plot thickens way more than this. Donnie would do loyalty tests. He would say, "Would you defend me against any enemy?" And I would say, "Of course, you're my brother. You know that goes without saying." He pulls a loaded gun from his waist and says, "Shoot her in the foot for me, baby brother." I looked at him like, "Are you serious, bro?" He looked at me dead serious. He really wanted to know if I would shoot this girl in the foot. I kid you not. The man was psychotic. I handed him back the strap and I said, "I would defend you against any enemy." Key word, defend, not offense. So he grabs it out of my hand and he reaches in his vest and then he says, "How about this?" I look at my hand. This fool handed me mace. In my head, I'm like, why does this man have mace? He was like, "Mace that bitch. At least you won't get a serious charge." I'm like, "Bro, I don't think you got me before when I was telling you about the strap. I'm not harming this female. You tripping." He pulls it back and gives me a look of disappointment. And I looked at him like, this is a hell of a first impression. This dude is a walking prison sentence. So as we get to know each other more, the rabbit hole gets way deeper. I've been selling drugs for many years and I had stopped because I had an open case and I knew I was gonna serve time. I wasn't sure you know, how much time, but I had a prior felony for assault too. And I only got probation for that because it was my first adult felony. I was 18 when it happened, like 17, but crossing into 18. So they gave me adult time. I didn't get the YO status. But that's how they get you. Quick probation. And then when you mess up again, they hit you as a 2-time felon. So I'm extremely hot at this time. Donnie says, let's get this money in Albany. You're gonna do time. You should have money for your bid so you don't have to rely on anyone. I had sold for years and made a lot of money. So I said, yeah, let's do this. Stupidly, thinking he knew people in that town that we could make some good money and I could take it and put some money on my books. So wait till you hear this. We go to Washington Heights. It's a Dominican, very famous Dominican control area in Manhattan where you could get the best stuff on the street. Like, if anybody knows about New York, Washington Heights is a hub for that. So when we're leaving the house, he hands me a strap and I said, we should go clean. God forbid we get pulled over with straps and product. I'm going away forever. Plus Broadway, you know, this is Manhattan, is a busy avenue. There's too much police out there. So he agrees. Thank God he did. We get in his truck, we head there, we get there. He takes like a half an hour in there, you know, negotiating, whatever he's doing. He hands me the product and a shoebox. I take the product and I say, I'm gonna stuff this in the gas cap. It was only like 50 grams, but in New York, you know, like when you step outside into the suburbs, that's easily thousands of dollars. So I do something that I've never done and I decide to put it in the gas cap. Don't ask me why. It was just like intuition and I just said, oh, I might as well put it right here. He said, that's a really weird spot, but hey, fuck it. So I go to put the shoebox in the trunk and I ask him, I'm like, what is this? And he says, a gun. I'm like, this is really light for a gun. He says, they're good people, I know them. I open up the box. I kid you not, it's a banana. You can't make this shit up. So I tell him, I'm like, Donnie, what the fuck is look at this. He sees it's a banana. We both instantly get so mad. So we go into the spot. The people he dealt with are gone. Some other dude steps out the store and says, you need something. And I said, your people just robbed us. He said, this is my block. Nobody else works here. I don't know who you're talking about. Me, I don't play that. So I got in his face and I said, so since this is your block, when I come back, I'm aiming for your top. And he says, oh, I had nothing to do with it. I'm like, listen, I don't want to hear that shit. You're saying that this is your block. So I grabbed Donnie because he's like, you know, ready to tussle with them or whatever. And I said, let's go. So we're walking. I'm so heated from this whole situation because it's like, I feel like I got wrapped up in something that made me feel like a dummy too, even though I wasn't in there. So I'm like, listen, we're going to go get the straps. We're going to come right back. I kid you not. We walk to the car. We drive up 1 block. Cop cars surround us in every angle. Guns drawn. I'm like, what the f? I'm going to jail forever now. Like, that's how I felt. Cops put us on the floor. And I'm just thinking to myself, how did they react that quickly? How did these dudes make the phone call that fast? So me and Donnie are on the floor face down. And the cops are asking us, where is the drugs at? And I'm like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I'm like, how did this happen this fast? So the cop picks me up and he leans me against the car, right against the gas tank where I stashed the stuff. My heart was pounding with an open case for possession, and this on top of it would make me a persistent predicate and they could throw me under the jail. So I'm like, my heart is beating so fast, it's about to pop out my chest. These cops were literally ripping the car apart. The only place they did not look was that gas tank. I could not believe they uncuffed us and told us to go back to the Bronx and get the fuck out of Manhattan. So we jumped in the whip and me and Donnie looked at each other and he has like, I'm pissed. And he has like a smile on his face. So then he says, that is the stupidest, smartest shit I ever seen in my life. And I kid you not, me and this dude laughed probably harder than I've ever laughed in my life with like tears coming out our eyes. It's like, yo, it's so funny because you got out of there, you know what I mean? So he said, is this a stash spot you always use, you know, back in the days when you were hustling? And I said, Donnie, I never did that shit in my life. I don't know why I said to do that. I had a gut instinct. No, God said put it there because I never did that before. He said, bro, you saved the day. That was epic. So we were able to go to Albany and do our thing. And what happens in Albany, it gets even worse. You can't make stuff like this up. Like, if you're ever like going step by step and things like this are going wrong, the universe, God, whatever you believe in is telling you this isn't the move for you. The Albany situation, there's so much to talk about in it. I'm just gonna do a part 2. Let me know in the comments if you wanna know how crazy this story gets. If not, fuck you.